let's look at the markets. Markets were in the red this afternoon. Most of the local stocks down, with the rand back about 15 rand to the US dollar. But world shares were down too. But we have seen that the two big reasons for the dampening sentiment amongst investors was definitely the uncertainty around Brexit talks as well as the US stimulus package. Let's take a closer look at those numbers. Let's break those numbers down now with Martin Smith, who's with eNCA Capital. Martin, as always, thank you for your time this afternoon. Let's take a brief look at overall market performance today, as well as the rand. It's back below 15 to the dollar, but it's still holding its own against major global currencies, I'd say.
So markets locally and globally have been a bit mixed. I think investors are waiting for the next catalyst to determine the direction of the market, whether it be up or down. And I think what we've seen is a lot of risk-off sentiments, which has obviously weighed on the currency. And I think it's largely due to investors kind of waiting to see what happens with a few things. One being the COVID cases absolutely spiking across Europe and the States at the moment. We did see the FDA panel recommend that approval be given to Pfizer's vaccine in the States. That can be rolled out as early as next week. We've got the stimulus package. $900 billion was the figure that was touted, but it looks like that's stalling a little bit at the moment. And then obviously Brexit talks. I mean, that's supposed to happen by the end of Sunday. But Boris Johnson has also mentioned that it might go ahead without a deal. So again, there's a lot of things up in the air at this moment in time. So I think there'll be a little bit of volatility and again, a bit of risk off, except if you Airbnb, which I'm not sure if you saw the IPO, it absolutely skyrocketed upon listing yesterday. But again, risk off, markets taking a bit of a breather and just a bit of wait and see at the moment.
Yeah, no, I definitely saw the Airbnb IPO. It was all over my Twitter feed. So anyway, with that, let's move on to some local company news. And let's start with Tongaat, some sweet results that have been yielded from the CEO's turnaround plan. Do you see what I did there?
I saw what you did there. No, you're absolutely correct. The new CEO has come in, I think, for the last 6 months or so, and he's done a great job in turning that business around. Revenue was up, operating profits were up. They're still making a little bit of a loss at a headline earnings level. But overall, quite a good turnaround story. Their starch business, the sugar business are recovering quite nicely. But we see this from a lot of stocks kind of in the mid-tier space. Off low earnings bases, kind of having a bit of a recovery. And I mean, you've got to remember, this was a R2 stock about 9 months ago. It's about $10 at the moment, even though it was sold off a little bit today. So again, the theme that we're seeing playing out across the JSE at the moment in the mid-cap space, where if there's a bit of a recovery off a low earnings base, companies can do quite well. Would I want to invest in this company for the long term? Probably not. I'm happy to look elsewhere, but not to say that we can't see the recovery play out over the next kind of 6 to 12 months.
MTN's troubles with Nigeria, Martin. 1 minute we think things are going okay, and then they take an absolute about turn. Now Nigeria halting the sale of SIM cards, and this is negatively going to impact one of its biggest markets, that being Nigeria. So I'm sure there's some kind of engagement that MTN is trying to establish, so this decision could be turned around.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. It's you kind of get excited about MTN and the momentum they get, and then something kind of seems to happen every now and again. But I mean, it's one that I fundamentally really like. I think this can be a kind of 80 to 90 rand stock in time. I think there's a good growth story there. There's a good self-help story there. But investors are really nervous, specifically when there's a story out of Nigeria, given kind of the history and fines and regulations that's kind of come out of come out of that region in the past. So, I mean, there's not a lot of information, and they said they're going to do a review. There's no timeline being kind of given to the market. But again, investors are just really nervous around the rhetoric. So is this a buying opportunity? I'd maybe wait to see where it settles on Monday and then kind of make a call from there. But I'm definitely looking to maybe pick some up if there's further weakness.
That nervousness you speak about probably causing that 10% drop we saw in its share price earlier this afternoon. Martin, thank you from eNCA Capital, giving us a wrap of the markets day as well as the week on the local bourse.